Hello everyone, it's Carl and Erynn here, and it's mandolin time. Exciting, I know. Going to do a wonderful West Virginia tune, Jake's Got the Bellyache from Ed and Hammond's. Modal and crooked and all kind of cool stuff. And
yeah,
fiddle tunes work out great for the mandolin, so we'll see what happens. I think it'll be a lot of fun to learn and put in your repertoire there. So I'll give it a go a couple times through, and Erynn's going to back us up on the guitar. So let's see what happens here. That's pretty. A little mysterious and lonesome, a little lonesome. Got a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah,
so.
good tune.
Oh, thank you, Erynn. Good guitar back up there. It's a nice guitar you're picking there. Oh, that's my guitar. No, she makes it sound good. So let's see if we can kind of learn the melody of this tune and talk about the chords a little bit. And I think it'll be a lot of fun for you. So we're in the key of A, as you noticed by now, probably. And we kind of got the modal tune, really has a scale. It has that G note in the key of A, which normally in A scale, as you already know possibly, has that pretty note, the half step at the top of the scale. So the modal tune, in what they call a mixolydian, some people might call it, it has that lowered 7th notch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a half step right there. So it's got that bluesy kind of lonesome. So that's one good thing to notice. And the chords of this tune is really interesting because you can really do a lot of different things. You can kind of do a lot of A and stay in A mostly and just throw a quick E. Or you can put a lot of G in there. And the G's and E's can fall in a lot of interesting places. So we'll talk about that somewhat. But let's just look at the chords, just the basic chords. If you want to do one basic thing, sort of what Erynn was doing some there, just the A chord on the mandolin. Of course, we can just do that little bar 2 and 2 on the bass strings. You have a measure of that, da 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 da, and just maybe we'll just go to a regular G for now. We might talk about another way to do that in a minute. And I'm going to re-shift myself here a little bit there, maybe you can see a little better. So A is the first chord for 4 beats, and then G for 4 beats, back to A, and maybe a quick E right there. And my E, I'm going to the 4th fret, just doing what I call a short reach. You can kind of see that. And you can even bar the middle strings if you like, copying that A shape low and put it for the middle strings for E and get so you can do a 3-string droney shape if you like. E back to A. And again, A, you repeat that, G. And I think Erynn was staying on a G there, which works great. You can stay on the G right there and wait for the E. And some people might go back to the A. So I'll do the first part, just chords. A, and a da-da-da, G, back to A. E to an A, and we'll hold the G for fun. Da-da-da-da-da, E-da-da-da-da-da, E, and an A repeats that part. E back to an back to the G. Let's go back to A first. See what that's. They both sound pretty good. So the second part chords before we jump into the melody. I know you're itching to, and we'll be there shortly. The second part has that nice really a lot of E in there. So chord-wise, you can do a lot of different things. I've heard you could just stay on A. You could just be and I think what I've done on the guitar some was going from do it A to a G, dum ba bum, and back to A, da 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 dum ba, just like the first part. So you can really get some droney stuff, A to G, and another thing that works pretty good, oddly enough. And I thought about doing it this way, but if you had a band, you can mix things up like this, but you want everybody to do the same chords at the same time. That's a little trick I found to be true. You know, that works better that way. So one thing you could do that'd be very interesting, I don't think people would normally do this, is go to the E quick lap. So that's another whole different way, but that would be cool if you had a whole band doing that. And maybe not every time, just throw that in for a variation to kind of shock the listener into, whoa, that was different. So anyway, the second part would be that the interesting thing about the second part, it does it 3 times. So that's one reason it kind of catches people off guard already. So you have that A to a G, right? If you want to hold that, you can do it the same thing, the G instead of the E, jump into the G quick too. So that's another whole thing. But right now what I've got is just A for a whole measure. Ba ba dee da da da, G back to A. A little more conventional, E to an A. You can do that each time. He does it 3 times, right? And it helps if you wiggle your head a little bit when you play the mandolin. You'll find a lot of mandolin players trying to get water out of their ears or something. I'm not sure. But let's see, just for fun, why don't I just do something on the chords for a second? Let's try all 3 of those approaches one time just for fun. I'll do the full measure of A and G and A the first time. The second time, maybe I'm going to go to the G early. And then the third time, I'll go to the E. And let's see if that would even work. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 G, A, and a quick E. This time, I'm going to go to a quick G. Ba, 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 bum, 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 ba, bum, bum, ba, 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 bum, E. And the third time, the quick E. Ba, ba, dee, 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 dee. All those sort of work. It's kind of interesting, and even variants on that. So anyway, don't let the chords get you too confused, but that's one of the, really playing the rhythm to a lot of these old modal tunes especially is pretty challenging. And if you're in a band or, just playing with a fiddler, you want to just find something that works, what they like and what you like. And you don't want to be too busy sometimes. Depends on how many, the more instruments you have, maybe the less busy is a good rule of thumb, so to speak. So let's go ahead and start working on the melody. I know you're ready to go on that. So it really climbs up and it works that scale pretty good. Like I say, that 3rd fret G note. So it's the first phrase is just starts right up the first 5 notes of an A scale. Then you kind of go back to the D note and climb up to that bluesy note. So and you do a nice little G arpeggio. So I'm going to do that phrase a few times for you. And a G arpeggio at the end. And I kind of think of the chord shapes there. That's like what I call a middle reach there. I get my other finger out of the way. But the 5th fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 2nd string. And you pivot over there to the top of the chord. The last 3 notes are... So it's an A scale starting out 5 notes. Then you back up 1 notch, then climb up. So I'm going to do that first phrase a few more times. First phrase of Jake's Got the Bellyache. 1, 2, here we go. And you might could even hit that low G string with that just for fun. Then you're going to start out the same way, and you get kind of stuck in a 1st and 2nd string rut there between the open 1st string and that 5th fret D note. So it's like a... And then you have a nice little high flutter open 5. You kind of shift. I would shift fingers here to my 2nd finger, 1st finger on the 3rd fret, because you got to get that 7th fret. So a little shift there. Open. My 2nd finger gets the 5th fret 1st string. 1st finger anchors the 3rd, up to 7, 3rd finger. So listen to that 2nd phrase where you get stuck back and forth. Back and forth twice. repeat that note. So let me do that whole, that's halfway through the first part, and you're going to repeat the first part too. So 1, 2, nice and slow. Climb the scale. G arpeggio. Get stuck. Shift. Then you're back to the first phrase again, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So that's nice. You get to repeat that first phrase again, okay? Then we're going to have an ending phrase, but let's do that one more time before we go to our ending phrase of the first part. So 1, 2, here we go. G arpeggio, back and forth, shift, 5th fret twice, first phrase, up to that bluesy note, G arpeggio, beautiful. And the last phrase is kind of a minor phrase, and it really is keys on a C note, and some backup chords might even play a C walk down to a G. You know, you might go. So here's the phrase. It's going to be the third, and this pull off from 3 to 2. So you have to anchor 2, and then pick the open string. So 3, 2 open for the first beat, and you can kind of think of that like 1 E and 2 16th notes and an 8th note if you want to think of that way. So it's 3 notes, 3, 2 open. Then you outline that G shape again, and you kind of work that again. So it's. Let's just try that little fluttery phrase there a little bit there. So 3, 2 open, and then you have that G chord outline, the 2 and 5, so B and a G note. Then you have open, 2, open. So you're keying on that G middle reach quite a bit. Then you have the big finish. You have this the 2 on the D string, the E note, 2 open, 2, 5, slide to that 7th fret on the 3rd string in nice unison. So let me just do that, the ending phrase for a few times. 1, 2, nice and slow. One more time now. A unison, so the whole first part. G arpeggio, get stuck, shift, twice, first phrase, the flutter phrase, and the big finish, unison, repeat that part. Shift. The ending phrase, flutter. And slide to the unison. And a lot of things, people talking about musical notation, triplets and different things. Those 3 notes, some people might hear it as a triplet, but it's actually probably the 16th note. So you're counting, if you broke one beat into 4 beats, it'd be like 1 E and a, sort of like Liberace or something. 1 E and a, and this, where instead of a triplet, it would be really even da da da. This has got that quick short, so quick long, like 1 E and 1 E and. So I think so, but you'll hear people talk about triplets and all kinds of things in different ways, but just try to get that. You got 3 notes, but 2 of them are shorter than the last one. And then the second part comes up, and this is the fun part because it's kind of hypnotic and repetitive in a way, although on the fiddle, Ed Hammonds does, and as Erynn will show you on her fiddle video, has some nice quirks there, and I tried to capture some of those on the mandolin. It starts out with the open 2nd string, and you're going to work the 5th and 2nd fret a lot on the 2nd and 3rd string, so it's like. So it really keys on that E note there, which is kind of how I can go to an E, or stay in a G sound, or stay in an A sound. That's why it's a little bit, there's a lot of ways to go there. So it's like you come to a crossroads and you got 3 different ways to go, and they all can maybe they all kind of come back around and get you to the same tune. So it's your choice on the chords. So let's try open, 5-2, open on the second string. Then you just have 5-2 on the third string. And that's tied and takes up the last beat. So it's wait for that last beat. Just, okay, a few times. Let's just try that phrase. That's going to come up several times. So 1, 2, the second part. Okay, one more time now. Good. Notice your first finger's kind of, across the street on the second fret. There's kind of your anchor. You can almost let it hang in that area there. Then we're going to have the basic melody without anything added. It's just going to be 2, 2, open, open. So it's like, well, actually 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to put a little ornament in there. But first, it's just that 2 for a whole beat, twice with the down up on open, and then 5-2. And we're going to slide to a unison early. So it's going to be like first phrase again. Just link them. And we'll go ahead and put another little 3-note phrase in there, just like we did on the second string with a pull off, 3, 2, open. This time we're going to have a little second to third fret hammer and pull off. So. And really the first 2 notes are probably, again, quicker, but just try to get those notes and you can iron it out, the timing. So hammer and a pull off, you really anchor that first finger on the second fret, hammer and pull off the second. So the second finger gets a good workout. So that takes up a whole beat. 1 and 2 and 5, 2, slide to the unison. I'm going to do that a few times. And that slide's going to get us back to that same phrase. So let me do those 3 measures together and you'll kind of hear it. Start of the second part. 1, 2, 3, go. Wait a beat. Slide early. Same phrase you started. And the ending phrase, again, I think the fiddler a lot of times does a lot of these little fluttery, hammers and pull-offs. You don't have to do them all the time. You could just go, the basic thing is, just like we ended the first part, but he does a little. So it's good to practice on the mandolin. It's easier on the fiddle to do a lot of those ornaments, but the mandolin does them perfectly well. And so here's the whole first time through the second part. We're going to do it 3 times, and our last time through will be the same 4 measures I'm doing right now. And the middle will have a little variation. So here's the first time through the second part that we'll also do at the end, our third time, which is kind of what makes it sneak up on people. So here's the first time through the second part, again, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, go. You wait a beat, the flutter, open, open, 5, 2, slide early, and another flutter. That's the first time through. I'm going to do that over and over a couple more times. That's our first pass through the second part. And we'll have a little variation and end with that same pass for the finale part. 1, 2, here I go. Early. I'll do that again. Early slide. Okay, the second time through is in the same terrain pretty much, just has a little different rhythmic thing and a little climb up. It goes like this. So it adds a little more notes in there. So it's that same start, but it comes back to 5 at the upbeat there at the end. So it's a syncope. I'll do the 2 measures together. It might be a little easier to hear. And a little bounce up to 4 or 5. And we're going to slide early again, okay? So let me just do the 4 measures. That's the variation in the middle here. So 1, 2, second part, second time through. 5, 2, 5, 2, open, 2, 4, 5, 2, slide, unison. 5, 2, 5, bounce up to the slide. So that's easier almost than the first time through. So let me do that one more time. That's our middle pass of the second part. 1, 2, here I go. Slide early. back to our first we did with the flutter, remember? And you're starting over. So let me just play the whole thing for you one time. And what you can do is kind of get it in the ballpark. You can of course check the tab out. And it has the notes and the tab, so both good to be able to read one or both, or of course get it by ear. And all of those I think are beneficial. So grab it whichever way you can, and I think you'll enjoy it. Let me play the whole thing one last time for you, and I hope you'll enjoy trying the chords, experiment with the chords a little bit, and just have fun with Jake's Got the Bellyache. Don't get a bellyache, but just play this tune instead. You know, I think it's a better way to go. So here's the whole melody a couple times through to wind up with. So one, nice and slow. Here we go. First part. Repeat again, first part. Shift. The second part's coming up. Getting some of that right, starting over. Experiment a little bit. Repeat the first part. Second part. Let me get that phrase right. That's right. Slide. That's right. What happens as you get to playing it, you'll do variations without even realizing it. That one little phrase there is going. I'll do this. Let me do that second part all the way through one last time, and we'll wind up with that. So nice and a little slower. That's it. And one last time. And A is such a great key on the mandolin. It was that nice drony 2 low in the open strings. You got a really nice drony sound anyway, so a modal tune works pretty good. So enjoy playing Jake's Got the Bellyache. Don't get a real bellyache, just play this tune. And I'll see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks a bunch.